Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Annie Meraj Kidwai. Thank you so very much for stopping by. To know more about me, please check out vertexthesolution.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about social difference. How to handle social differences, how can we eradicate certain situations around us in general. Now, we already know what is social difference and differences in us. Certainly, there are laws and policies which govern certain matters in society as well. But on the human psychology front, or from the lens of human psychology, how important it is for us to understand and how important for us to address certain issues around us, ladies and gentlemen. Now, certainly social differences can be on many fronts, and certainly there are laws for it, but how can we develop um, the value around this aspect to improve the quality of perceiving, thinking information, thinking about something or a situation or a person or in general, and improve our thought process. So it's important to work on our thought process here, ladies and gentlemen. For that, we need to develop empathy for our own self, for our thought process, the way we see, view, perceive things around us, as well as for the other individual or other event or a situation that we come across, which develops a situation of social differences here. Now, when we live in a society, it's important for us to empathize at times due to some trauma, poor or bad experiences, personality issues, or mental health issues. We are unable to, you know, rationally think about situations or people around us, and which eventually develops deeper issues that can be the root cause of something destructive or worst that we see in the future or we experience in the present somehow. That is somehow a contribution from every end. So we cannot eliminate or eradicate a problem without finding the root cause, and until and unless we do not understand the root cause and work over the root cause, the eradication of a particular issue or a problem can't be sorted. Now, it can be different for different people or different situation or circumstances in general. So the most important element in decision making process, or I would say in conflict management, is to empathize with the situation, with the people involved in the situation, understanding. Now, there's a huge difference between sympathy and empathy. They are not equal, and they're not similar as well. So, when we are having empathy, we are able to resolve the conflicts because somehow we are able to put ourselves into other people's situations, how they think from their aspect, how they react, their decision making, why they made certain decisions, and what caused them to make certain decisions. Understanding from their point of view why they reacted in this way. So when we develop certain kind of understanding in us, ladies and gentlemen, with certainly patience, tolerance, and kindness, that needs a lot of work on our own selves. I think these issues can be dealt with some maturity. That requires a lot of work on our own self. Now, at times it's very obvious when somebody hurts you. For instance, if somebody emotionally hurts you, you react. Any normal human being would react. They cry, they suffer in pain, or if they don't express their emotions at that point of time, so the emotions are built up in certain way that can take a horrendous outcome in the future somehow. So depends on trauma to trauma, experience to experience people go through, and what contributed for those outcomes that could be or can be horrendous in the present or future, um, uh, at the face of it, because of certain experiences or trauma. So, until and unless we do not find the root cause of certain social differences that happens, and how can we deal with those, how can we, understand. Now, it's another common thing to generalize things. If something happens, we generalize things that it happens with everyone around us, or it is with everyone. So certain kind of I would say a thought reflection or introspection has to be done by individuals themselves as well, that where do you stand, how do you evaluate yourself, and how would you uh, take decisions in certain situations, because criticism is quite easy, but when we introspect ourselves, we need to correct ourselves as well at certain places where we can analyze that yes, we need to correct ourselves there, that can contribute positively or impact society in a positive way. So definitely, when these are the some of the situations, or I would say events, or some kind of thoughts are these are literally thought provoking for an individual, where you eventually think about all these aspects that can be reflected to improve, rather just to talk about it. So it's easy to talk about it, but how can we improve it? How can we improve? I think until and unless we do not work on ourselves, we do not improve ourselves by understanding and empathy and empathizing with people and situations, the situations won't change around us, because the change starts from within and it starts from our own self. So we need to, I would say, believe on our own self, that yes, if we can change ourselves, if we can change our thought process, if we can change the way we see or view things around us, or people or situations, I think we are able to change uh, the situation or the adversaries that we come across every day, in the form of people or events that we see around us, can literally improve for the better. So empathy is highly important, ladies and gentlemen, to resolve things around us, or I would say to make decisions better and informed and balanced decisions. And it needs a lot of work on our own self, because when we are able to work on ourselves, we are able to make better decisions and better choices in our life. And those decisions and those choices can really improve the way we think, the way we see, and the way we perceive things around us. So our thought process is the most important and initial element that requires to be improvised, and that can only be improvised when we are able to develop certain qualities of being empathetic, kind, being, we are able to tolerate people, and we are able to accept people the way they are, and not trying to change them, but rather understanding them. Certainly, for anything which are in extremes, there are laws that governs the societies. And then we have, of course, the awareness and education on mental health and physical health also simultaneously. But the overall situation can only be improvised when we are able to transform ourselves from within. By, I'm not saying that be positive or think positive or certain things like that. Empathy is very much required. empathy is highly, highly required, ladies and gentlemen, in everything you do, or I do, or we do in general. And it eventually improves our thought process and our thinking patterns. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. I hope I'm able to communicate clearly what I wanted to say in this video. It's accumulation on social differences, ladies and gentlemen. Anything more, you can drop in your comments in the comment section below or write to me as well. Have a great day.